is
Hello, everybody out there. We just done 13 minutes of a show, and I'd forgotten to push live, go live. So,
quality broadcasting from
Yeah.
Spong, ladies and gentlemen.
so yeah, we're going to put this down as it was a test run, wasn't it? Just to see if the credits worked. So,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
here we are, broadcasting to you now live.
Well, here's the. If it wasn't live, then I guess it wasn't recorded, huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we only missed one thing. We can redo everything else.
Yeah, it'll be easy. It'll be easy. We'll sort it out. We can chase him down again. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, we were talking to who was it? Stevie Wonder and all these
Yeah.
other. So you missed that. So sorry about that. But anyway, hello, welcome. Push like, subscribe. Not to this, but when Robbie comes back, that's what you should like and subscribe. Not this. So anyway, again, I'm going to introduce the guests again as he reaches over, all at the same time. Hello, everybody.
Hello, all the nice people in the iPhone.
So as you can see, we have Richard Hilton, we have and Andrew, and we have Dr. Mike. All together. 1, 2, 3. Hi.
Well, let's do this all again, shall we?
Yes, shall we?
Rehearse, so it
That was a good rehearsal too. You know,
Yeah, wasn't it? So
We'll get
what
it
have you
right.
been doing this week, Andy?
Your microphone's off.
Yay, take a drink, everybody.
I've been getting ready for this show.
You looked about as ready as I was.
Yeah, I'm very ready. So I've been busy and now I'm here and I'm loving it. And we're joined by the wonderful Dr. Mike
Indeed.
and the gloriously wonderful Richard Hilton. And of course, our host with some of it,
That's
Mr.
not
Ken
most.
Spong.
Yeah, what there is of it.
Well, you know-
Hi, everybody.
side to every show.
Yeah. So Ken, how's your week been?
Awful.
Good.
Busy. Thousands of keyboards to get repaired. Finished at, well, now, half an hour ago. I think the first time I said it was 15 minutes ago, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, so, yeah, I've only just finished from a 5 a.m. start. So, yeah.
Good.
So,
And the lovely Richard is there playing with his keyboards. He's got his new system in.
that's his
How's
excuse.
things with you, Richard?
Things are just dandy. Thank you very much. New systems up and running. Things seem to be mostly working, getting all geared up and cleaned up, and it's a new dawn computer-wise.
Excellent stuff. I'm sure we'll revisit some of the conversation we've already had throughout the show. And then we've got the lovely, the very, very snoggable Dr. Mike, who's, I believe, somewhere rather special. If only I could guess where.
Special in the terms of, I don't know, special education. Sorry, I'm trying to get into a place where it's not quite as noisy. Greetings and hello, everybody. I'm here in Anaheim, California at the NAMM show. Right now, if you hear the background noise, that is about as quiet as NAMM ever gets. I am actually in an alcove by a fire extinguisher because literally just trying to get away from the noise. I mean, it's like playing bagpipes. You march to try to get away from the noise, and you just can't manage it.
And have you interviewed the fire extinguisher yet?
No, I have not. But the one thing you guys did miss, I'm hoping I'll catch him on the show floor again. Just as we were getting started, Dan Phillips of Korg R&D, the gentleman who designed all of the software and the guts of the Wave State and the Mod Wave, is here. He's a dear friend of mine, and he poked his head in and waved and said hello to all the people from Anaheim. So sorry about that. He's much better looking than I am.
No.
Oh yeah. And
I'll get a room.
Very talented brother of Glenn Phillips from Toad the Wet Sprocket, and a very, very fine musician on his own. He's actually, well, I won't go into some of the comedy records he's done, but he's extraordinarily talented and extraordinarily funny. Also, before I forget, this video on this end is sponsored by, actually it's not, but I figured I'd say it. Under my name tag is, come on.
What?
Bukes.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Bukes. All right. Purveyors of fine books, and mine. And I actually, you know, if we get to the part of the show where I'm able to get to someplace really quiet, like a conference room, I actually have there are only 3 in existence, and one of them is mine. The pre-press trade paperback version, before the hardcover went on press, and I have been collecting autographs. So I've got some fairly famous autographs in it, but you know that's if we're desperate for content.
Well, so Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
you're never sorry to interrupt me.
I know you're at NAMM, and we've got an audience here gagging to see just one thing.
Oh,
just
well,
one thing.
I'm going to show you a bunch of things. But just
carpet.
No.
The carpet. The carpet.
No.
The carpet.
What? Oh, what?
Carpet.
Oh, this isn't representative. This carpet is beautiful. I'm outside the show floor. No. And for those of you who don't know, I actually sent this gang a photograph. One of the things I do, the exhibit halls closed the day before the show because they're still building all the booths, and so you've got forklifts and cargo carriers going up and down and all around, moving these really heavy materials. So the booths all get carpeted immediately before people put stuff up, but they don't lay down carpet in the corridors. So I sent everybody a very rare exclusive photograph of the floor of the NAMM show the day before, where there were no carpets.
No. Okay, so listen. Do you know what?
We're going to go in and we're going to see the carpets. I promise. It'll be the first thing. When I start walking, I'm going to point the phone downward, and you can see the very pretty carpet outside the show floor, and then you can see what everybody runs around on inside the show floor.
So what is the first delight you're going to be making your way towards for us to have viewing pleasure thereof?
I have no foobar idea.
Good.
Because I had the chance. I was at the show. I was at the show for about 4 hours during the setup period, when I wasn't supposed to be in there. And I saw where a lot of the booths were, but about half of them weren't set up yet. But I do have some genuine cool stuff that people want to see. And somebody was asking, I think it was Richard, who was asking me if there was one piece that was sheer magic so that I would say the A word on the broadcast. And I've got that picked out already. So if you guys will walk with me, I'm going to show you NAMM. Now, remember, this is a trade show. This is not an open convention. As I mentioned to Kent, and he, sort of exploded. I didn't realize it was because he realized we were not live. As of, you can finally buy a ticket to NAMM. It's $350. It's cheaper to join NAMM.
Yeah,
might be faster as well.
Just as a proviso.
Way faster. Anyway, so we're going to go inside, all right?
All right. Well, look, the thing is, Mike, just as a proviso, be very, very careful while you're going around the show floor, because this is where Dave Spears was arrested and almost shot.
Oh yeah, the Anaheim police.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm well aware. That was
Yeah.
many, many, many years ago. They've forgotten about him, I hope.
Yeah, they should have done. Yeah.
All right, off we go.
And we're off.
And we're off.
Carpet, 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 carpet. Watch the noise levels, guys.
That's a bit of a mad carpet, really. Oh, here we go. Let me make him full screen here, without deleting him.
Okay, can you guys hear me all right?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to the NAMM show. This is Hall B. Now, let me just show you around a little bit. Down that way, those are Hall C and D. That's where you're going to find guitars, amps, effects. And if you think this is loud, go into the place where they're demoing drums. That's maddening. So this is Hall B, where they have the orchestral instruments and that sort of thing. This is the Casio booth. Our good friend Mike Martin works here, but I'm not going to bother him right now. And then over here, we're going to see halls A and B. And the area between halls A and B is where most of the cool electronic stuff is, okay?
Okay.
But the first place we're going to stop is just to say hello to somebody who's been on the show before. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
A synth flute.
Yeah, it's MIDI.
Wow.
Actually. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find him. This is Cloud Microphones, and for those. And
you stole my carpet can.
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's Synth Addict and Dr. Synth, the man, the myth, the legend, and Manny. Oh, hang on a second. Carpet.
Yay!
There we go.
There we
So,
go.
how are you guys?
Doing great. Good to be back.
Yeah, it really is. How are you doing?
Good stuff. You guys see the Terra. The Terra is amazing.
Yeah, I'll get over there. Yeah, it's not my abracadabra though. That's later. Yeah. Anyway, we're stopping here because a guy who's been a guest on the show works at this booth, and I'm going to see if we can find him so we can say hello.
Nice.
All right. And are you guys around? You're gonna be around, so maybe we'll run into you again. You know, it's a small show, very small show actually.
My carpeting. So hello, all the people in the computer.
It's not a computer; it's an iPhone.
They're on their computer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna turn around and head into the good stuff. All right, we'll see you guys on the show floor.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a surprise. I should have realized they were here, but I didn't know. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with Cloud microphones, they are probably among the best ribbon microphones in history. They regularly beat vintage RCA ribbon mics in shootouts. They are gorgeous, handmade in the United States, but Cloud is most famous for this. Oh, look, hang drums. Cloud is most famous for the Cloud Lifter, which is a little gizmo that's phantom powered that lets you run dynamic and ribbon mics at higher levels so they sound better. They've sold like 350,000 of these things. They're really incredible. I have one that I use sometimes for broadcasts. You put an SM57 on here and it sounds just amazing. And I'm looking around the booth, and I do not see Mr. Bryce. So you know what? We'll stop back later. Let's get into the good stuff. Okay, so where we were a moment ago was down here. And what they're showing here is the Recorder by Artinoise. It's an absolutely beautiful little device. It's a wireless wind controller, and it is very cool looking.
Look like Luke Skywalker.
And We'll be back.
Mon ami.
Thank you so much. I'm just showing some friends around. This is nothing official. Thank you for the demo. All right, moving on.
That's a nice wind controller.
Yes,
Yeah.
it really is. And the thing is, there are a gazillion of them here. Now, this is a phenomenon that's very common at NAMM shows. You get a famous or almost famous person demoing a product in a booth, and what ends up happening is you can't actually see who it is, but there's a gigantic crowd. Now, a crowd this big, there's a good chance, a very good chance actually, given all the security, that this might be, is it Stevie Wonder? I am not sure. That's something else that you get to look forward to when you're here. Electronic drums, they don't make noise. And then Artesia controllers, just me and some friends of mine. These are the ones that are designed to the same form factor as the CME X keys, with pressure sensitive buttons and
he's gone.
And he disappeared.
And he's gone. So now we go back to the
he's back.
And that's
back again.
Sorry?
You're back again. You disappeared.
Yes, I are. Yeah, sorry about that. That was an alarm going off on my phone telling me that it's time to sign on to this show because it's still set on Mountain Time. Now this little gizmo here is the Neva Duo interface from the German company ESI. Those are their line of ribbon tweeter monitors, which is what I use in my studio, the larger ones. They have a ton of audio interfaces, all kinds of great portable electronic music solutions, these amazingly tiny portable IOs, and so on and so forth. Yeah, now this right here, this is my baby. This is what I use for all of my monitoring in my studio. It's a truly extraordinary and very underrated speaker. Moving on.
It was very good of you to give it to them for the show.
Sorry, what?
It was very good of you to give it to them for the show.
Yeah, I know, right? And I only had to give them one, so I've been working in mono for about 2 weeks. And then there's this, which is the Moco is a passive monitor switcher, which does mono and muting and that sort of thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift for the person who really doesn't want to have a Mackie Big Knob in their studio. Moving on. Here's something that Richard would appreciate. Check this out.
FM.
This is the Pedal Pal Sustain pedal stabilizer. Look at this. No more pedal creep.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
I had to screw mine to the floor.
Do they come in 2s and 3s? I'm serious. I don't use
Do they come in 2s and 3s?
My pedals are tied together.
Well, you know what? This guy
curious.
that I'm talking to right now, he is the stage keyboardist for Nile Rodgers and Chic, and he's about to go on tour. He's going to need one of these. Do you have a car? I'd love to have a car. Thank you.
You shilling for me out there, Mike?
Are you after a
got a car
freebie?
and a pen. Thank you.
I didn't.
Oh, now this is a really cool booth. I know that you guys are interested in stuff that's actually practical. This is the new keyboard workstation series from, is it pronounced Lyle?
Yes.
And where are you guys located?
So we're based out of South Korea. We launched in the States yesterday.
Wonderful.
So we are offering a discount for the weekend. It's going to be $200 off the regular price.
Now, what would a setup like this normally cost?
So our competition is about $950 to $1,200. We retail 61 keys is going to be $749, 88 keys is going to be $799. But again, we have that $200 off right now.
Well, that's wonderful. That's a beautiful, beautiful design and very affordable.
Sustainable and non-toxic wood as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful talking to you.
Because seriously, guys, don't we get sick and tired of putting this crap together, with bits and pieces of baling wire? And then we've got some of the MIDI Plus stuff. This is just friends of mine. And the Up and Up Plus controllers, and the B-board, which is a cool little thing. Don't know a lot about it. Very low profile. Not sure how much dynamic control it has. And that's the Orethia 88 folding piano. If we get a chance, I'll see if I can get somebody to demo one for us. I've got no idea what the dynamics are like. But here are the controllers. Lots of buttons, lots of knobs, lots of faders. Cool stuff. Now let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, Voclia it's a vocal to MIDI software, which allows you to sing and it turns it into MIDI data. Hang on. Q Up Arts, purveyors of phenomenal and very expensive sound libraries. And they've got a trap cat in the studio. I haven't seen one of these in about 20 years. Probably the best portable drum kit ever made. We will come back, I think, to this booth. This is Triple G Ventures, which sponsors a whole lot of worthwhile manufacturers. Just a quick look at the new colors of the Artefon Orba. Trying to get away from the noise. Hang on a moment. The Riffler Riff Generator for iOS. Complete with a kiosk, so you can try it out. And we'll go back in the other direction in a moment. This is MLive, which is an Italian company that makes these, here you go, the B-Beat. Ideal for bands, keyboard players, and drummers who manage backing tracks and videos on stage. Removes computers, sound cards, mixers, cables, and other complications. They just go away, This doesn't replace them, but it makes them go away. Solves the reliability issue common to computers, standard ergonomics, reduces stage setup. So basically, it's a fairly complicated backing track computer that you can use to leave all your computer hardware at home, because we like leaving our hardware at home.
We certainly do.
The B-Beat Pro 16, Te Beatmaster.
Te Beatmaster.
You gotta love it.
Te Beatmaster.
Te Beatmaster.
Good.
They're being leaked. So it's a multi-track audio player, audio recorder, and it does video as well, and a sound card, and a terabyte of internal memory, so you don't run out very quickly, and it's remote controllable. This is actually a pretty slick gizmo, and I can see a lot of live acts and tours, and maybe even some studios making good use of it for live shows.
All they need to do is afford some copywriters to get the checking done on the spelling.
It'd be funny if that is actually a spelling mistake.
Yeah, it is.
And then this is Devo, the Pocket.
Devo.
So mixer, voice effects, harmonizer, MIDI files, multi-track audio, stems, video, and audio interface. So, nice big screen. Not sure, touchscreen? Yes, touchscreen. Very nice. And just so you don't miss them, really big play and stop buttons. Okay, moving on, because that was exciting. Here's something that you folks will really appreciate. Check this out. These are the new Rhodes pianos, and they've got the tops off, so you can see Good to see you, Holger. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah.
We'll catch up. I'll come over and see you.
Yeah. Do you know something about the Synth the next Synth? No.
No, but say hello to Pro Synth Network. Yeah, Holger Drinklefort. All right, we'll talk to you soon. So they've got.
Do they come with a lid as well?
Rhodes pianos that are absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and very important.
That's funny, Andrew.
Handcrafted in the UK.
Is that Dan playing?
So, very, very cool stuff. Now, we're getting closer to the average playing? This is a brand new set of studio furniture called Black Panther System. And check this out. They're modular, and they have these extremely tight, very easy to work with angling and setup systems. So you can build a 3-tier or 4-tier stand that actually won't fall over on you, and that doesn't wobble when you play it. This is some really, really innovative stuff. They have a lot of accessories like music stands, computer stands, that sort of thing. And over here we have Amanda, who's demonstrating a little bit of DJing, computer stand, a place for an iPad or a drink, built-in mic boom. I mean, this is the first really new thing that I've seen in studio furniture in a long, long time. Check this out. You can get them with built-in power strips, and the lower level is adjustable in height, so you can play it sitting down or standing up. And they have a variety of dimensions, so they can handle everything up to an 88K computer and beyond. Now, I have no idea what this thing is. It just sort of popped up out of nowhere. And yes, folks, this is one of the unicorns of the show. Can you see it okay?
Oh, yeah.
Why is there nobody playing it? What the hell?
This is, in fact, the Osmos. And I got to play it. One of the advantages of getting into the show a day early was that I had a chance to come in here and chat with Arnaud and Romeo of Expressive E, and they walked me through it. And I have to admit, it is an absolutely beautifully made machine. The feel is very good. You have the 2 stages of aftertouch, which are very easy to see. And the side-to-side wiggle, which can be as subtle or drastic as you want. Poly pressure. It's a surprisingly good feel, but it's not like any other keyboard I don't know, Gromit. It's not like any cheese I've ever encountered. But it's a lovely design for those of you who insist on left-hand controllers, mod and spring-loaded pitch. And the display that helps you around is really quite pretty. You have the place to select patches over here, and then you can look up presets. This gets you into the synth engine, the basic stuff that you don't do with a computer. This is where you control touch sensitivity. And then over here, you can set up things like an arpeggiator and what's called press glide, which is this very subtle thing that allows you you can move using pressure between 2 semitones, and it will glide for you. It takes real technique, but it's actually very slick. Arnaud demonstrated it to me, and it's a really beautiful little, really beautiful thing. Now, here's what one looks and sounds like. that was a little too close to the tweeters there. So you guys can see that it's very well set up for performance techniques. You just missed. Jordan Rudis will be back, but that's after we're off the air. Oh well. Now, this is a very cool piece. For those of you who don't know, this is 1 volt per octave, and they make Eurorack modules. This was funded successfully on Kickstarter. It's called the Center, but now they've made it available in a self-contained desktop unit with its own power supply. You have a variety of ways you can connect it, 4 outputs, and this thing loads sound libraries of all kinds. It's got a lot of digital sound processing. You can update the brains with an SD card. It's a really slick system, and I got a chance to look at it earlier, and I'm going to come back and play the hell out of it later. Thank you, Marcel.
More wood on it than the New Forest.
No, this is something people have been asking about. This is the Instacore, finally.
Yay!
These are some friends of mine.
Okay. Dr.
Good to
Mike,
see you. Yes.
my name is Di.
Very glad to meet you. And I believe, Yuichi, I think I wrote to you before the show to say that I wanted to see the Instacore. So can we get just a little playing?
Okay. Are you recording right now?
Yep, sure.
Right,
Just
cool.
play.
So yeah, this is the Instacord. What's unique about it is that you get all your chords with just one press of a button. So I'm in the key of C right now.
Right.
So number 1 is C, number 4 is F, 5 is G, 1 is C, like that.
Yeah.
So with a guitar tone, it's just a few clicks. I can change the key. I'm in a key of C right now, but now I'm in D.
I think that might be Mike's alarm going off, telling him to get on the show.
And not only keys, but also instruments. I'm playing guitar right now, but with just one button. Now I'm playing piano. Or like.
Whilst you're there, Mike, if you get the picture back, can you ask whether or not it's got MIDI out?
It's got 128 instruments inside the chip. So you've got everything, guitars, lots of pianos, all the way bass, synth.
Ken, do you want to cut back to the studio as well?
So that's basically the story. Here.
There we go.
Yeah, it's also got a USB output, so you can connect it to your computer. You were hearing what's inside here, this chip, right? But you can actually play your favorite software instruments with this as a MIDI controller.
No,
So welcome to the Pro Synth Radio Show.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
We're not seeing any picture, Mike.
Indeed.
We're not seeing any picture, Mike, at all.
Come on. Yeah. So,
It's okay, I was ready for
Di,
you.
hello. Hang on one
Mike?
second, guys. I'm going to step away. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Mike. Thank you.
Sorry, didn't hear that.
We're not seeing any picture at all from you.
What? Hang on.
No video.
Take it out your pocket.
Crap. Hang on.
Pixel interrupt us.
Hey.
There he is.
Sorry,
There
when did
he
it cut
is.
out? When did it cut out?
Round about F.
Yeah.
You looked so much younger before.
Oh yeah, great. No, seriously, guys, what did you miss? Did you see the Osmos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, it was just
Yeah,
when.
that's right.
When he was playing the key of F on the Klingon guitar.
Yeah. Okay, so you saw it. All right,
yeah.
great. Well, I know why that happened.
With buttons.
Moving on. I think you guys are familiar with the.
And could you, according to the people in the chat, could you go landscape?
Electronic music experimental device for kids or adults. It's great fun. If you can actually see it on various websites and so on. It's just flash for sonic experimentation. And then they've added one with a grid.
Mike.
So now you can teach your kids to be Dr. Dre really early.
Mike.
You guys ready for the abracadabra
fuck.
moment?
Hey, Mike.
Okay,
Mike.
check this out. This is my abracadabra for the show so far.
Mike.
This is the Nether Blade. Eric Netherland, I had a chance to chat with him earlier. This is an absolutely amazing reconfigurable display that is actually quite playable. The display itself is not pressure sensitive, but it does do side to side slide and up and down control. And then for the left hand, there's an XYZ pressure sensitive controller. This thing does a standard keyboard layout. It also does a grid layout like the instrument that they just added, and a guitar fret layout. Yeah, I caught that. Oh, very quick introduction. This is, guys, hang on, can we get this? Yes, we can. This is Tim Thompson.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, mate.
Sorry about that. This is Tim Thompson. Tim is the developer of the Space Palette and some other very cool video and audio experimentation software and hardware, and a very old friend. So, just a quick hello. Hello. That was easy.
Hi, Tim.
Mike, can you hear us?
I can. What's up?
That's funny.
Go landscape. You're on portrait mode. Go landscape. It'll be easier for everyone to see.
There you go.
Yay!
There we go.
Okay, this won't be a problem. I can keep myself perfectly in frame. Okay, so hang on a second. So
it's in the wrong mode.
So it's got
also upside down.
it's got a built-in setup screen. It has built-in sounds, and it is actually shaped like that because it is playable as a guitar, which is part of what makes it so cool. So you can do these very cool string bends and that sort of thing in guitar mode. And over here,
that looks like a nice instrument.
It's beautiful. And you have a excuse me, a drum grid. And then this shows you how you can call up sounds and work with the inners. So if we get a chance later, I'll bring you back to chat with the creator, Eric Netherland, who's behind me doing the demo right now. But this is my abracadabra. Watching this thing go, it is just a thing of beauty. It's not very heavy. It's extremely well balanced. It's a lot of fun to play. And
what's the retail? What's the retail on it, Mike?
He's having trouble setting that right now because as of now, these are the only 4. The one he's demoing, this one, and those 2. They're all hand built. He sources the components, including that display, and he builds them all by hand. So eventually the price will come down if there's enough demand to do real mass production. But right now he'll build one to your spec for about $2,500. So it is not inexpensive, but it really is literally a one-off work of art when he makes these things.
That's a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Yep. So that was my first abracadabra moment. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into some others. Those of you who love putting together and networking, and solving problems with weird networking, you may be familiar with Florian Bohm and the Bohm Box. These are incredible MIDI processors that have Ethernet connections and so on. Florian Bohmers is in the middle of a meeting, so we won't bother him. We've got, what do we have here? Oh, this is some sort of a video time sync device for people who have trouble doing this sort of video stuff and need a simple way to approach it. And what else have I missed? Let's get back here and let's see what else we've got. No idea what that is. Looks like software. Oh yes, these are new MIDI 2.0 interfaces. Here's something that we've talked about on a previous show. This is the Melbourne Instruments. This is the Nina, which is the little analog desktop synth that I think we covered a couple of shows ago. It's got the nice clacky buttons and the motorized. Check out the motorized knobs.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is in fact very cool. It's 12 voice.
Rob!
What?
Rob!
Yep.
Carry on.
Yes, continue.
Am I still here?
Yeah. Yeah, you're still going. Still going.
Okay.
Lying down on the job.
Oh my God. Who's joined us?
The git that should have taken over
Oh my
the show
God,
2 weeks
Robbie.
ago.
Hi, Robbie.
Don't let me
Hey, it's
interrupt.
good to see you, man. Welcome to NAMM. So
Thank
did you
you.
catch my thing about the nether blade a second ago?
No, I literally just got on.
All right. Well, you can look at the replay.
I will.
Anyway, this is
Be
this is the Nina.
Issuing
And, I
sanctions
love
and
this thing.
fines and shit.
That is just so cool. And then you have, it'll do single parameters when programmed to, all manner of cool morphing. I just think this is a genius idea. I think this is absolutely beautiful. No idea how it sounds. You will never, ever be able to figure out what something sounds in this trade show. It's just impossible. And then, oh yes, if you read about the knobs breaking, check this out. They're turning the knob automatically, and it is on cycle number, let's see now, cycle 29, and they're past 10,000 turns.
What happens if you grab hold of the knob?
What? Oh, I don't know. Hang on one second.
Because that's my concern.
Sorry, my friend. I'm just showing this to my friends. What would happen if I grab the knob? Oh, he says, do it. Okay.
No, he meant the one on the box.
Yeah, wow. It's fighting me. And it's back again. It wanted absolutely nothing to do with me.
Welcome back, Rob.
No.
It still has the end stop, so it's still powered and it has a center detent.
Oh wow. So yeah, there's the detent and stops at either side.
And then you can just force it past those stops because there's nothing there. That's just the magnets.
Now, if you force it past the stops, does that do anything to the timbre?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's going to affect the ground and moving it around that much, but it'll basically just...
He was never asked that question before.
Well, that is very cool. Thank you. Okay.
Send us a
guys.
demo unit.
What?
Send us a demo unit.
Well, I'll ask. Probably
Not
not
right
on camera because he might not have anything to say.
He might tell you to fuck.
This is the chord board, the musical instrument of the future. I have no idea. I'll sneak back later. They're doing a lot of demos with booth monies and that sort of thing. Now, here's Polyend. And you guys are familiar with the old tracker. And, hi, Mitch.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just got some friends.
Good to see you.
Good
Well,
to see you,
what
too.
you did
This
have-
is the new Tracker Mini, right? Well, don't let me stop you.
All right.
I'm just going to show it to the gang.
Well, you might have to start me because I need to gather where I'm at on it. Someone else has been messing with it. Yeah, so it's smaller than the original. It's got an updated CPU, so it's more powerful. It's got more sampling time. It's got USB audio, mic input.
And you can hold it in your hands.
You can hold it in your hands. And maybe
Just like the
put it in
sample
your
track.
pocket if they're
Incredible.
used. Like the
Just saying.
are coming back. So
Yeah, cargo
this is
pants.
why. Yeah.
Cargo pants. There you go. All right, very cool, man.
Yeah.
And then we've got, that's the Poly & Play over there. Yeah, I know.
Cats and
I
Did
know.
did Polyend see a sample track and copy one?
Yeah, actually, I've got one. That's not them. No, the sample track is Sonicware.
Yeah. What I was saying is, it looked like somebody at Polyend
Yeah, the difference is
was inspired.
the sample track is does very different things. This is literally a tracker for those people who want to get back to doing tracker music. I'm not, a big fan of the tracker way of working, but people have been asking and asking and asking for these sort of Game Boy derived ways of creating music.
My Polyend caught fire. I don't know.
Your end.
What did Polly say about that?
Very upset.
Oh, you
And
didn't
did
hear
her
any of
end
it?
feel?
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys, I'm doing the best I can here. Okay.
Oh, we're having a good time, man.
Yeah. Well, the basically what they said is the tracker. Hang on. The Tracker Mini, is that better? There we go. The Tracker Mini is a handheld miniature version of the tracker. It doesn't have the button grid and a couple of other features, but it's got a much more powerful CPU. You can now do USB audio with it. It's portable, battery powered, and they've added some deeper features that actually make it fairly easy to use in the traditional tracker fashion.
And what kind of price? What kind of price is that, Mike?
I'm going to ask. Hang on a moment.
99 or something.
Yeah. Hang on.
What's the price of a sample?
Hey Mitch, what are these going to cost?
$6.99.
$6.99.
And they're available for pre-order now.
They're available for pre-order now. Awesome. Nice seeing you.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye. Yeah, I know everybody here. Not true. That's a lie. Okay, now who's next? Who's next? We saw Black Panther System. We saw the Nether Blade.
I might be impressed about how your Wi-Fi is holding up, Mike.
Yeah, it's doing all right.
Yeah, I would think they've got the convention center pretty
Bonjour,
well covered.
UVI.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There's
men's
UDI.
toilets like?
Yep.
Go find
And
us Thomas
guess what?
Jutro.
They're doing a
That's
they're
not
doing a
funny.
subscription service.
Yeah, of course they are. People love it.
Yeah. Well, are you surprised?
No, and
Good
people
one,
are
Mike.
going for it head over heels because it's a ton of content.
Yep. Hang on one sec. Over here we have the first live demonstration of version 5 of Bitwig Studio. And Yuki is here.
Woohoo!
And
Where's
they're
hers?
advertising Slap.
Where's
Because
hers?
they're
Yeah, where's hers?
here, there, and everywhere.
Can you find us Urs?
Say what?
Can you find Urs Heckman?
First, hang on a moment. Can I find him?
He would be Yuhi. Urs Heckman.
Check under the desk.
We heard you were coming.
Yeah.
And I see Howie. My
Hi.
dear pal.
Nice to see
That's
you.
Urs,
See Howie.
right there.
Yep.
Hi,
this is
Urs.
Hey.
Just a
Hey,
couple of
Urs.
friends from the Pro Synth Network. I'm walking them around the show. It's nothing formal, and they just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, hey.
Hi, Urs.
So hi.
Hey. I'm not really showing anything because it's secret stuff. So.
No worries. I'm gonna sneak out then.
Yeah, no problem.
Zebra 3.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? Zebra 3.
What? Yeah. I was gonna say it, and then I realized that he was much bigger than I was.
Should have asked Howie. He'd be all right. He'd give in.
Okay. Analog reinvention. What is Free Force?
We put real tubes inside your digital workflow.
Oh wow.
So basically, normally how you use plugins,
Right.
we've got a plugin you use just like any other plugin. But what's happening under the hood is we're processing that audio that you put the plugin on the track through the real tube.
What kind of tubes are you using?
So we've got two different types in here. We've got a 1287.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar
Oh
with
yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
And here we've got that A83cc/12AX7s on there. So we've got the two different gains, which you can drive it harder with these guys, obviously, or have a slightly, softer sound or a...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's this going to sell for?
So this is $9.20 is the retail in the US.
Right.
Vintage being selling it for us here in the US.
Wonderful. And you're an Australian gang?
Well, we're an Australian-based company, but we have all the sales based in Denmark. So kind of like a Danish-Australian company.
Well, how can you go wrong?
You can't go too wrong. We've got both sides. We've got Australia, which is up top.
Yep.
Danish down below.
Absolutely. When you look at the right way.
Does that mean we're looking at Foster's Lager?
Thanks so much.
Or Carlsberg?
That's
Loving
your
the
choice.
sound on sound product placement
Fosberg.
there.
That's your choice right there, Andrew.
It's basically
Foster's
kangaroos and
Carlsberg.
bacon.
I'm sorry, guys. Ooh, I can't hear anything you're saying. Was that basically? Did you miss all of that?
No, we got it.
No, we
all.
got it. No, we got that,
all
mate.
of it. Mike, you're doing a
Okay.
great job.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're doing stellar,
I am. In fact, I am doing the best I can here.
No, it's
so-
fine. You're doing better than I was.
Sorry, what?
You're
You're
doing
doing a
better than
great-
I was.
You're doing a great job.
Oh well,
Mike.
there is that. Yeah. But that's. I'm sorry. That's a really low bar. Anyway.
Well,
Check
you've got to
this
start
out.
somewhere.
Another wind instrument.
There's another one
No, it's
that
poison
you-
darts. Fire MIDI.
That's, very cool.
Yeah, it's
And
got good dynamic
so
range.
it's designed with a sort of a simplified sax fingering, and it lights up, and everything that lights up is better. And they have both straight and angled mouthpieces, so you can play it like a flute if you wish. To quote that gentleman from the Jean-Michel Jarre movie, he plays an instrument something like a flute. And then nothing
Is Ken
new
Pierce
here.
there? Is Ken there or Glenn? Hey! Say hello to Ken.
And hi, Ken.
Hey.
Pro Synth Network.
Oh, hey guys.
All right, bud.
I'm staying masked up and safe over here.
And they're showing the new firmware, and the gang of wonderment, as always, the Explorer, the Deluxe, the Desktop, and the OG. I want you guys to all put in votes for the software upgrades that I asked Glenn for, which he shut me down on. We can hope, right? We can hope. Anyway, good show?
Yeah, very good show. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I'd say it's a little bit up from last year.
It would have to be. Last year was dead. So and
Robbie's
there's
the only
Glenn
person
Garcia in
left on the
background
planet hasn't
doing
got one.
business. Okay, so we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna start showing you guys some of the other stuff. Figuring out the.
Check out Modbap.
Yep, we're gonna head down the aisle. Remember, these guys aren't so much Eurorack.
They need to be.
Oh,
It is. Listen, I will be your Euro crack dealer. Get into Modbap.
okay. Well, you heard it here, guys. Hang on a moment. Okay, give me a second. Oh yeah. Excuse me. For those of you who might or might not be familiar with it, this is the non-linear C15.
Uh-huh.
Before the Osmos, this was the most playable synthesizer out there. It is absolutely extraordinary. I love it, and they're selling it in black now, and gorgeous piece. Now we're into Eurorack land, guys. So we've got Endorphins showing off some new stuff.
Robbie's going
hang
for a
on a
nap
moment.
now.
And then, we're in Blip and Bloit land. 4MS has got their line of performance and sequencing modules. There seems to be a big thing now about taking these things out and making them separate desktops. So that seems to be like the thing. And they've got interface stuff from Verbose, which we cannot see, some of the Buchla stuff. And now this is a big display about MIDI 2.0. They're talking about, they've got Windows drivers, prototyping tools. They've got Linux and Android. Naturally, no Mac yet. Some MIDI 2.0 winners, including the Earae Touch, which some people are familiar with. It's basically like a gigantic rolly block, except it works. You didn't hear me say that. MIDI and music education. And let's see if there's anything we've missed down here. Okay, they have cleared out the crowd from that one show. There's a little historical display over here of stuff that some of you, Kent might have heard of this. They've got, I've never heard of this thing. I have no idea what it is.
No.
What is it?
And this. I mean, look at this. This is never going to take off, right? I mean, seriously.
No.
Actually,
not even with wings.
This is the new one. It's got the joystick, and the instrument, which is my personal fave. And they've got the Please Do Not Touch. So that's the Korg reissue of the Arp Odyssey. There's the new Oberheim OB8X, which does left-hand controllers properly. And the Juke 6, the original SP1200, and demonstrations of some of the stuff that's going on in Europe. Roger Lynn, Dave Rossum, Tom Oberheim, and Tsutomu Kato. I got 3 of their signatures in my book. Anyway, and then we have, this is fun. Check this out. This is the world's smallest MIDI controller. This is the Noise Machine Straight Vibin edition. Can you guys see this okay?
Just about. It's tiny.
Okay, hang on.
There we go. That's better, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, 12 buttons, a slider, a knob, configurable wireless. And look at the size of it. One of the things that I really, I'm having one of those custom made for me with special controls in it. I'll tell you about that later. And of course, you can't live without the third wave, right? You guys okay? Yeah.
We gotta get this into a book at some point.
Yeah, you'll get it into the book. You'll get it into the book. Bob Cooler, Third Wave, say hello to Pro Synth Network.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're here with Dr. Mike. And
yeah,
it's going to take the Third Wave.
You had me going for a second. I'm looking at the back of that iPhone and saying,
yeah.
Tape. What the hell's he doing with the cassette tape?
Chris, wonderful to see you.
I would have thought Manny be duct taped to the back of one of those.
Vlogs for us.
Yeah, and you guys then got bought out, and now I don't have any work anymore from you, and I am very sad.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you don't want to do this on live TV. We'll talk about this later. Anyway, it's really good to see you. And here's a friend of Pro Synth Network, Allison Cassidy, who is the hang on a minute, Kent Spong is on here. So this is your Irish
colleague and arch nemesis.
Absolutely.
Top of the morning to you, my love.
He says it's great to see you, Mila.
It's good to see you, Ken. Well, I can't see you, but it's good to hear from you. And it's great to be here today with Mike, Dr. Mike, and all the gang here. It's just phenomenal. Loving it.
So, guys, I am running a little short on charge. I'm going to see if I can catch one more important booth before this thing dies, and then I'm going to find a place where I can plug in and we can talk about some of the other stuff, okay?
All right, yeah.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Talk to you later.
Really wants to meet for you to meet Bob Cooper, inventor of the third wave.
Yeah, we chatted at
Super nice guy.
Yeah, we chatted at Synth. So I'll talk soon.
Yeah, catch you later.
You bet. Sorry, guys. Now we're gonna do carpet. What else do they have here?
Great.
They have they've got the Jamstick MIDI guitars. There's the Embod-Me, which is the Ear Aid Touch, which is an absolutely glorious thing.
I concur.
Oh, you concur? You're one of the builders?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. No, it's great. It's we call it the one that actually works.
Oh, that's really nice to hear.
No, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much.
We'll come back and look at it later.
Oh, copyright.
And then of course we have the guys from Jouet with their new line of swappable modules. Hi Pascal, it's so good to see you again. Yeah, this is Pascal Jouet of Jouet, and just some friends of mine. And they've got the new audio pads, which can be used for doing sampling and sample manipulation, as well as the keyboards, the drum pads, the guitar fretboards, and so on. Since they reimagined the system with
Mike,
yeah.
Do those pads literally lift out and you put a new pad in and it has a different set of functions?
Oh yeah. Hang on a second. Here.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you look underneath, there are 3 separate zones. And these pads are designed to be able to do 3 separate sets of things. That's the current design where the whole thing comes off at once. The original ones, they would actually come off one at a time. You could have ones that were all 3, you could have ones that were 2, you could have ones that were 1, but it was just tremendously complex and they didn't sell very well to professionals. So they reimagined it as a system for beginners, and they've done very well.
Good.
Now, here's possibly the most reliable keyboard ever made. And of course, the modern equivalent. And this is the one that I'm making them, and micro. And where else? Oh yeah, here we go. One last stop before the phone dies. It turns out that there is one particular distributor here in the States. Oh, Soma Laboratory. You know, you never know what you're going to find here. They've got all their beautiful stuff like the Lyra 8. I'm not sure what that is. I just know that it has strings on it. And then they've got their new stuff like the Terra, which is over there, currently being played. And the Cosmos. These beautiful, beautiful devices. And oh my God, there they are again. Okay. Thank you for sending me the link. Okay, moving on, there's one last thing. As I was saying, there is one distributor that is bringing in a lot of the most important electronic music brands to the States, and that is American Music and Sound. They have Nord, they have Studio Logic, they have Kurzweil, and they have just picked up distribution of modal electronics, so it's going to be much easier to get modal synthesizers in the United States. So we've got the Cobalt 5S, the A8M. These are all the things that we're familiar with, that we know and love. These are some of the new Kurzweil workstations, including the K2700. This is the brand that just will not die because people love the way it works and so on. It's amazing, and they're doing some really good stuff. The new PC4 with the built-in control surface. Over here, we've got the Studio Logic stuff, like the new Max pianos. And do they have some of their controllers? Yes, they do. The Numa Compact. And the SL Mix Face, which is a fun little thing.
And are any of those poly aftertouch?
No, not yet.
No, I doubt it.
Not yet. No, the only people who are doing it right now are Waldorf and ASM. So there's Red Keyboard Hell. And over here they've got the Pro Audio and DJ stuff from people like Hercules, Fostech, CAD microphones, Reloop, and so on, and Allen and Heath. And this is where we stop. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we are now on the edge of DJ Hell. That is, in fact, Smoke Machine Smoke inside the convention center. This convention center is a couple 100,000 square feet. I want you to think about how much DJ smoke it takes to fill this room. And no, we're not going in there. You think this is loud? Oh my God. Okay, that's the lion's share of it. So I'm going to put myself on mute and turn off the video for a moment and try to find a place with a plug so my phone doesn't die completely and where it's a little quieter. And I'm going to rejoin you guys as soon as I can, all right?
All right, mate.
Great stuff.
All right, well, they may have other stuff to show you, but right now I think I've got about 3 minutes. I might have to call you back. Go ahead and mute me and turn off video, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I can. Thanks for your patience.
All right, bud.
All right, talk soon.
Take care.
Cool.
You bet.
All right. You want some terror action?
Some terror action?
Yeah. Because we have our man Andy is at the terror.
Goodness me.
But he hasn't got his mic on. So at the moment it just looks like somebody writing a letter.
Are you guys?
It looks like a court stenographer.
As soon as she's done, I'm going to try and get an audio demo for you guys. But
all right, babe.
They're recording something.
Yeah, those are real bloggers. Anyway, one of the reasons why I kept this sort of silly and informal is because they go, otherwise they go into sort of robot presentation mode, which really sucks. Anyway, I wish I could show you some of the other scenery. One of the classic things about NAMM is that there is a whole bunch of people who come here to show off how cool they are. So there is actually a woman walking by in assless red leather chaps, and yikes. There are people who should not wear assless red leather chaps. Just saying. So that's all the Pioneer DJ stuff. I'm going to see if I can find a quiet place where I can sit down and plug in.
All right,
but yeah, and by the way, if I can, once I have a full charge, I'll see if I can go back and find the lady with the assless red leather chaps.
Hey,
but
say hi to Ken Spong. Hey, Nick.
Hello, mate. You're right.
Oh, is that Nick Bat?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see you, man. And they power plugs. Help me. Here we go. Sorry, guys.
So what are we all feeling, or what are we all thinking about the show? I know that Richard's tied up with something for a moment, but Ken, have you seen anything there that you must have?
Well, it's definitely that Osmos.
There was the Osmos.
Yeah.
I like the look of the screen-based guitar stroke keyboard thing, but I think
the Nether Blade.
Yeah, I think Inky made the observation that it's fine until you drop it.
Yeah.
Actually, my understanding is that it's fairly sturdy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a chance to chat with Eric Netherland for about half an hour. Nick, we saw each other on Wednesday, and I routinely get onto the show floor the day before so I can walk around and talk to some of the folks who are already set up. And Eric's really thought this thing through, and I think that listen, it ain't cheap, but I'm hoping that he sells a few. And
yeah, but you say it's not cheap, but it's a lot less expensive than I thought it was going to be. For a custom-built instrument, $2,500 is not a lot of money.
No, it's not, and
it's going to be a hell of a lead time on it, though.
Actually, I don't know about that. He's managed to get his hands on the parts. He says the displays are by far the hardest, and that if they individually were not so expensive because you can't buy them in large lots, the thing would be a whole lot cheaper.
I noticed you got your hands on the parts as well. Well, you had your hands on that knob, which was that was the highlight of the show.
Well, I think so. I call it the abracadabra device.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a very pretty thing. It's inspiring to look at. One of the things about having a one of these days I'll strap a GoPro to my forehead so I'll be able to actually try this stuff. It's
forehead cam. You'll have forehead cam.
Yeah. That's all. Well, nobody wants to look at my forehead anyway. The thing I should point out for those of you who've never been to a NAMM show before is that there were about 2/3 of the usual number of electronic music distributors here. You'll notice I didn't take you to the Korg booth. That's because there isn't one. And Alex Hawley in the house. Wait, just wave to my friends.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Mike Spence.
That is Alex Hawley, who is the associate editor of Recording Magazine. He's one of the two guys that I trained to take my place when I stepped down a few years ago. He's a sweetheart, very good guitarist too. Anyway, so Korg isn't here. They've got a little tiny meeting room. Simpson isn't here. Roland isn't here at all, I don't think, although I did see a couple of Roland banners outside another one of those meeting rooms. There are a lot of the major players who just plain said they're not doing this, and that comes back to what we were talking about last week. People are really, the folks who are here are really glad to be here. There's a lot of FaceTime. There's a lot of people being able to network and visit with one another, which is this sort of intangible thing that people don't think about very much.
And you were saying earlier, Mike, that the public can get in, but they pay $350 for a ticket. What's your sense? What's your sense of how many members of the public are in there as well as trade?
Well, that's impossible to know. The reason why is there are a couple of reasons. First of all, NAMM doesn't share their statistics, not until they've had a chance to really look over them and make sure that they're not saying something wildly impossible. So they'll publish numbers probably next week. But right now, if I were to go up to my friends at the NAMM press office, they'd say, we don't know. The other problem we have is that we, hang on a second. You bum! What? Get back here! Sorry, guys, 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Yeah. Lee Sable, say hello to the Pro Synth Network.
Hello, Pro Synth Network. How is everybody?
We're good. How are you, Lee?
Man.
Never a dull moment, I assure you.
I'm sure.
Lee is the guy who sold me my my Roland GR77B bass synthesizer back in the day. He's been a dealer rep. He's worked for various companies. He's an old hand at the electronic music industry and a very good friend. And I'm going to let him go now because we were in the middle of a broadcast. But he's a good person. I'm going to see if I can get him on the show because he's a laugh riot. He's amazing, and he's got all kinds of good
Now
stories.
there's no pressure on me. Y'all have a good one. See you later.
Yeah, you'll see
Say
me.
hello to your missus for me.
I certainly will, and I'll tell you about this later. All right. Anyway, this is one of the things about asking me to do. This is one of the things about asking me to do a NAMM show, because these people who just say hi, or I say hi to, are just there everywhere. Anyway,
Go landscape. Go landscape again. There we go.
How's
Yay.
that? Is that
That's
better? Awesome. Anyway, so I'm here leaning against a wall on probably the quietest place in the convention center, which is the aerial pedestrian bridge over that connects the North Hall with the rest of the convention center. There are just, there we go. There are a lot of people walking around, and this is because this goes between the electronic music place and the pro audio place. I know a whole lot of folks who are making this trip.
So what's your impressions, Mike? So you've been around. I know it's been a very quick lightning tour so far.
Yep.
Is it a signal year? Is there lots of new stuff happening, or is it all just incremental?
Well, okay, how do I phrase this? There isn't a lot of display presence here, people don't remember back in the day when when all of the Eurorack manufacturers got together and went in on a gigantic booth, and they sort of took NAMM by storm. And all of the major keyboard companies were saying, we've got all these cool new synthesizers, but our booths are empty, and they're all over here at this one sort of place with these weird boxes with the cables. And so there was a real sort of a change of feeling, but today what we're seeing is there's a lot less traffic. There are a lot fewer people. There aren't, what I was saying before, it's very difficult to tell the difference between somebody who bought their way in with a ticket and somebody who scammed their way in by being a friend of an exhibitor. I'm willing to bet that the lady in the assless red leather chaps probably was, shall we say, booth talent. Probably for one of the pro lighting companies or pro DJ companies or PA companies.
And are you missing the wonderful gentle that's in the background?
You just heard it.
Oh, right, I'll do it again. There we go.
No, I said you all just heard it. Yeah, I mean, the noise level was crazy. I could barely hear you guys. I was one cable adapter away from having, your voices in one ear so that I didn't have to yell and constantly ask whether you could see stuff or not. But the show's way down in traffic. Just to give people an idea, the Anaheim Convention Center has four exhibit halls, which can be walled off. But for this show, which is their biggest of the year, they take down all the walls and it's just one big space. In addition to that, they have the Mighty Ducks hockey stadium, which is built on, and that has room for that's where they usually put the pro lighting in.
Can you, Mike? Can you see? Can you see Andy's feed at the moment? He's got quite an interesting looking stringed instrument there.
There you go, guys.
Oh yeah, that's from the same people. That's from Soma, and that's their. Yeah, well, I'm going to mute myself so that we can hear this for a second.
I'm assuming.
I don't know, man.
I'm assuming what we're looking at is the box at the bottom that's a pickup or a microphone. What do we think?
It uses obviously string technique, but I've got no idea what they got it plugged into or whether they're.
It's just an electroacoustic thing. It's the strings are actually into that basically that pickup down there, and that's all you're getting. It's called the Divina.
Oh well, I wish them luck with that.
Really handy if you want to crucify a cat.
I like the upside down cross. Yeah, it's a good.
Oh dear.
Let's up a bit.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
There we go.
Down just a little. There we go. There we go. Right there. Right there. Hold that.
Right a bit.
And Richard, there you go. That's all you need to do a soundtrack for Werner Herzog.
And if you play it at midnight, it starts bleeding. So
it's a rather lovely sound. I have to say, it's quite haunting.
Yeah,
it's nice. Yeah, it says the only electroacoustic thing they make. So.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, these are the folks who put reverb springs on the outside of their devices so you can pluck them and run coins over them and stuff. Soma never bores you. They've always got something cool happening. There we go. Get the Bukes logo in while we can. There's not as much traffic, but to answer your earlier question, the people who bothered to buy booths are doing really, really cool stuff. In the old days, they would have booths like that with these really interesting things, but they would have been exiled to the basement hall, Hall E.
Yeah, they were tucked away. They were tucked right away. Yeah.
And so there is a sort of a real sense now that because they're trying to bring everybody together into a smaller space. I mean, what I was saying before, at a usual NAMM show, all 4 of the main convention halls are full. There's also a basement, Hall E, where they used to put all of the relatively obscure and brand new companies. So that was the place where you went to see all the innovations. And then, they would put the PA and smoke machine and all that other stuff over in the Mighty Ducks hockey stadium. They've got the Northern Annex, which is 2 floors, which is for all the pro audio stuff. And it was so big and so packed. They've also got the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor rooms, but it was so packed that Yamaha, which is the biggest, group here, they didn't even bother trying to get in. They just took over the entire bottom floor of the Marriott Hotel with all of the event spaces and ballrooms. So that's what it's usually like. This year, the Marriott's empty. Half of the North Annex is empty. Hall E is empty. The arena is empty. It's only the main 4 rooms and the upper floors. Yamaha's taken over the 3rd floor, and it's not a very big booth. And the other thing is, I didn't show you guys, we were at the front of the hall by the lobby. Hello, Mellotron. The backs of the halls are empty. These places are only about 2/3 full.
Wow.
And traffic is way, way, way down. Last year was a mausoleum. I didn't bother coming last year, but the stories I heard were just, that it was miserable. It was depressing.
So the Instacord I can't remember if we found out or not, but the Instacord, the guitar thing we're seeing again on screen at the moment, the guitar stroke Omnicord thing, does that have MIDI out?
It has USB MIDI out, USB-C. Okay. And he actually said at the end of his demo, where things were getting a little squirrely, that you can plug it into it has built-in sounds and built-in speakers, but you can also plug it into any computer and play virtual instruments and plugins off of it.
No,
that's cool.
That's better.
And do you know how much was it?
Not expensive. I think they're under $200.
Wow.
I'm not sure,
Okay.
but, but if you see it up close, it ain't a nether blade. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but it's fun, it's affordable, and it's different. You know what? That's on my shopping list right now.
Yeah, but the fact that you can plug it into other things.
Oh yeah, you can play anything with it. Go out on stage with that little thing. Look like you're gonna play like a ukulele, and then you've got it hooked up to Omnisphere, cranked up to 11, and the audience is wondering what just hit them.
Yeah, yeah.
A cat.
I see Matey Boy still on the Osmos. I suppose he's going to be on that all day.
Yep. Well, oh yeah, that's the Poly-N Tracker Mini. Yeah, I have no idea why tracker culture suddenly came back in the last couple of years.
I can tell you. There's a lot of very young people going up into their teens, from sort of 5, 6, 7 years old, going through into their teens, who are discovering that they can multi-track and do this stuff, and they're just playing around with it, and they're killing it. There's some kids online that are doing amazing things, and it's becoming a really big thing to be able to go out and do this wherever you want.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. If they're making music instead of just sort of staring at a screen and gaming, that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, and look, Bruce Willis.
You too can play like me, man.
You said you weren't going, Richard. You said you weren't going, and really.
Yeah. Well, they had some, shall we say, booth talent that were being very loud and obnoxious and trying to drag people into the booth. And there's only so much smiling a guy can take in one place. So I just sort of gave it a pass. But
so that sounds like it sounds like some of those people that knock at the front door and try to get you to believe.
Touts they call them.
Touts.
But it's what do you say about a place like this? It's all of the madness that a NAMM show has always been. There's just less of it. It's the quality is still there. The quantity may not be. One of the places I didn't get a chance to take you guys, there are a few electronic musician companies over in the North Annex. I'm sitting on the bridge to go there, but I don't think my phone will last that long. I have it plugged in right now and I'm charging it, but it's barely anywhere. So if I can, I'll get back there before the show is over. Our show, I mean. But we've only got about 20 more minutes, so I'm not sure.
I think what's interesting from the footage we're seeing from Synth Addict at the moment is it's looking very denuded. There's not that many people there, and there's always that thing. I remember from NAMM. The public days were the worst because people would just come on and they'd smash and bash and crash things and break things and take knobs off. It was always the trade days have always been really good. People are very respectful. They want to know for whatever reason. It's a really good thing. So, it looks a lot calmer, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, there are fewer people.
What's the vibe? The
vibe is good. A lot of the people who are here are really glad they're here. They're as I said, the one thing that I think is maybe a trifle naive and premature is to say NAMM is back. I'm not sure about that. I am not convinced. If anybody dared me, I would have gone back into the nonlinear booth and I would have asked Stefan Schmidt where the Poly Aftertouch was. But I really don't think you guys want I'll just have to hope that if he updates it at some point, he'll bring that on as a possibility. Marcus Resch, by the way, who builds the Mellotrons, he is extremely bearish on the current Poly Aftertouch offerings. He looked at the ones that ASM is using in the Hydra Synth. And he, is skeptical about the ones that Fatar is doing.
Why?
There's the question of supply. There's the question of feel. One of the things that people don't tend to forget is Marcus hand makes all of the poly aftertouch keyboards that go into the Mellotrons. He makes them all one by one, and he tunes the sensors himself. So he's not only got very high standards, but he's got very particular standards. He knows what he wants in a poly aftertouch keyboard. And he went over to ASM and played the Hydra synth, and he was just not impressed. He just said that it there were playing techniques that just didn't play right. And I'm not going to tell Marcus he's wrong, but it was his taste. And so he also said that Fatar, there are supply chain issues, really, and that he's not going to hold his breath waiting for Fatar to make that poly aftertouch action more widely accessible.
So do you know if anywhere in amongst all of these lovely stands there is a Fatar stand, so you could find it? There isn't.
No,
they're not
no.
there.
The closest thing to a Fatar stand. Fatar doesn't come to these things. You'll get OEM people who are doing parts for guitars. You will never get OEM people doing parts for keyboards. Never. They don't come here. There's not enough business. So you won't. The closest thing you'll ever get to a Fatar booth is Studio Logic, and they're finished products for people to buy that just happen to have Fatar actions in them. And not the top end Fatar actions either. These things are designed to a price point, so the actions are good, but they're not the best Fatar can do, at least in my opinion.
That's kind of interesting. It would be good to see what their take is and what they're thinking. It'd be really good to try and get some sense of that at some point.
Well, at some point or another, Robbie's just going to have to ask someone from Fatar to be on the show.
So a Nord like Kurzweil.
Yeah.
In that Nord are they like Kurzweil in that they found a way of putting together synths and linking to them and programming them very early on, and they've really not moved away from it.
I would say that there are actually 4 different Nord approaches. There's the virtual analog of the Nord lead. There's the combined analog and sampling stuff that you get in the Nord Wave. And then there's the very specialized stuff they do for the Nord organ and Nord piano. But having said that, they have a very, very strong following for the way they do their user interfaces and the way they do their operating systems. And I don't think they're inclined to move away. I mean, face it, their oldest stuff is 30 years old. They have become a classic make. People don't think of them that way. But they've been around for 60% as long as Moog has.
Yeah.
And, so their stuff still sounds good. I mean, one of the things, wait a minute, somebody who we need to say hello to. Can you hang on one second, guys? Hang on. Chris Meyer.
Hello.
Of Alias Zone. This is Pro Synth Network.
Oh, okay. Hi, gang. Good to see you.
How are you doing, Chris?
Really well. Walking between talks, learning more about immersive audio.
So what's your take? How do you feel the show is, just from energy?
It's better than I was expecting, and I had low expectations.
Yeah.
But there's, from my perspective, very few modular manufacturers.
Right.
A few interesting keyboards.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the immersive technology because I think I have to start mixing in that eventually. So there's a lot of interesting talks on that and good presentations. So I'm more excited from that.
Well, off you go. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And by the way, great set the other night.
I really appreciate that. Thanks. Thanks
All
for coming
right.
out.
You bet. Bye. Yeah, Chris has a project called Alias Zone, which is absolutely extraordinary. He's literally the only person I know personally who can do a show with a modular synthesizer that doesn't have you nodding your head and saying the technology is interesting, but where's the music? He is extraordinary. He does these live rigs, which are combinations of, hardware DSP like the 1010 Black Box with a full modular with Ableton Live and acoustic instruments. and just beautiful, beautiful music. And,
Okay, so what I'm thinking now is,
and just one thing. And for those of you who are synth geeks, he is the head of the team that built the Prophet VS, and he is the guy who invented vector synthesis. It's his baby.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
So our audience just met the inventor of vector synthesis. Now, what were you saying?
Excellent. So we've got 10 minutes or so left to go, Kent. Do we need to round this up somehow? Do we need, what are we going to do next?
Well, I was just going to say thank you all for your patience. I know this was, a little rocky, but the feeling I get is I don't know about NAM. I don't know that NAM is going to ever go back to it's never going to go back to its former glory, and I don't know if it's going to survive. But what I've seen, I've gotten a chance to have FaceTime with people who are doing really, really interesting stuff. And I'm going to be watching out for people like, building things like the Netherblade and the Instacord and the Robku and the Redot Quarter, and a lot of these new instruments. They're cool, and these guys spent a lot of money and took a lot of risks to come to this trade show, and I'm really hoping it gets the word out, because and the Osmos. These people need exposure, and one of the things that they're getting here is exposure to a larger community. But I still think, in terms of FaceTime, the future really is in smaller, specialized conventions. So that's me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think we're gonna cut away from you for a while so you can get along to the North Hall or get your thing. Listen, you've done a fantastic job, Mike. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of fun, and I know that the guys are down there still sending you footage from the main hall. I'm going to put myself on mute. Hope I've got enough charge, and I'll see if I can find anybody over in the North Annex who has something that you guys should see, just in the dying minutes of the match.
Thank you, Mike. You've been an absolute
mate. Cheers
star.
for that, mate.
Yeah, no worries. And if I have to pop back on just to say goodbye, I will. But if I can find something cool, I will. Okay.
All right, bye.
Cheers now. What a wanker.
I heard that.
Oh, damn.
The mic only works one way. Ah. Yeah. So I think Andy's run out of carpet, quite possibly.
How lovely. Yeah, that was interesting, I suppose.
Well, it's not as big as I remember it.
It's not.
I think there might be something.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
It was much bigger last year, actually. Yeah.
Because
modular stuff isn't here either.
Yeah, because there was a point though where NAMM was actually so big you couldn't actually
get around
appreciate being there. There'd be things you'd miss because it was just too big. There was too many people. I
remember being there as an exhibitor, a few years back. It was so big that as an exhibitor, if you wanted to go and look what everyone else is doing, you had to really plan it carefully. And you were limited. You couldn't see everything you wanted to because it was just such a big show. Now It looks like you can go and see anyone about anything in a very few minutes. It looks like it's contracted a lot.
Yeah,
it has, and it's only 3 days instead of 4.
Yeah,
and yet people are having no trouble at all, seeing everything they need to. And when it was big, it was really hell with the lid off. There's still quite a bit of the energy, but it's definitely a different vibe than it was 3 years ago, which was the last time I was here.
Yeah.
So what was, from what we've seen tonight so far, Mr. Spong? What was your? I mean, you saw the Osmos, we know that.
Yeah.
Anything new there that particularly tickled your fancy?
Well, funny enough, that little guitar thing. Once I heard that it did MIDI out. Funnily enough.
And by the way, I promise, guys, I will go back after the broadcast. I will talk to them, and I will find out what the actual price point is.
And in the UK as well. If they're distributing in the UK, we want to know who. And yeah, because I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get one of those. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to see those. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Artifon's very first product before the Orba, the Instrument One, which had a lot of potential in that regard, but I guess it was never really sort of. It was borne out because they always had the Orba in the back of their minds, which was a very cool device and had a lot more potential. But the Instrument One had fans, and and I'll say this right now, and I apologize, folks, but tweaks to
Kent.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Anyway.
Maybe it's time to end that particular feed for the moment, Kent. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. How do you do that?
Oh. Well, Richard had to disappear off for a moment, and he's not back yet. But we can.
Did you notice the world's first 3D synth?
No, I didn't.
In Andy's stream, yeah. It's funny because I thought all keyboards were 3D.
I haven't gone into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Andy was nearby there just now.
When you say the first 3D synth, there was a virtual synth about 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Mm.
I think it was Omnisphere were doing something with a virtual reality synth controller.
Yeah.
What you were
So when you say a 3D synth, what was it? And should we, Mike? Can you hold on a sec? What was the 3D synth you saw?
It's the one that
I'll go back to it. Hold on, it's over here.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
It's called Sky Dust.
What I just wanted to show you guys here, in 2020, this room was absolutely full of booths. There were exhibitors.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's have a look at this 3D synth, if you don't mind, Andy. So explain 3D.
It's got surround sound.
That's not new, unless it's part of the engine, the synth engine itself.
Yeah, a positional synth engine.
So who's this made by, Andy? Do you know?
It's made by Sound Particles.
Okay. And so is it a 3D synth engine or 3D outputs? You know, is it ambisonic?
Just on a stream, just showing these guys stuff. It's muted right now, but
okay. It's another screen.
It's definitely software. Sound Particles doesn't do hardware.
And Andy, how are you I mean, you said you thought it wasn't as busy as last year earlier. Andy, is that the case? You feel it's not as busy? It's Andy?
Sorry, I thought I was muted. Yeah, it's I mean it's busy, but it's nowhere near what it was last time. There's a lot of booths not here. There's no cool modular hangout area with couches and hippies and stuff, and plants. And so, I mean, it's noisy. It's always noisy. The worst is the guitar area. If you've never been to NAMM, you go to the guitar area. It's perfect. There's a company over there called Death by Audio, and it practically is Death by Audio when you walk over there. Because this drone, this noisy din, like, it's like death, right?
Yeah.
And the closer you get, the harder your ears hurt.
So, Andy, for you, you've been walking around for an hour or so already. Any highlights for you? Anything new? Anything innovative?
didn't like the first 3D synth in the world.
Well, there is that.
Nah, just kidding. No, so I just finally got to play the Osmos because mine's still on order, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it. The Terra is my favorite right now. I was trying to do an audio demo earlier, but they switched to that guy playing the little violin-like thing.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do a Terra audio demo. Although they might be able to do it now. But that's my favorite. It's so damn expressive, and it has so many sound engines in it.
Did you manage to get the Osmos into your backpack?
No, but mine's coming. I just got to pay for it when I get back. So,
Yeah.
It just kind of screwed up my order a little bit. He's still playing the string thing, so.
So I don't know enough about the Terra. What's
this
the
is
story there?
this block of wood here.
Oh, that.
So it's going to be two kinds of wood. It has MIDI in for clock only, MIDI out, and there's not going to be an editor. It's a closed system. So it's basically, but it has it's like 60 sound engines in it. He said.
60.
And, yeah, it has like FM sounds and some like Tuvan throat singing, kind of vocal weird things in it, and it's pretty wicked because it's metal body contact, right? Like a Buchla easel. So the more skin that touches, the more expression you get, or more modulation you get. And so you just roll over these hard metal knobs, this little nubs on there.
Yeah.
And part of it's for effects control, part of it's for note control, and then you have knobs for changing envelopes and some other parameters, and all kinds of presets to navigate through. It's wicked.
What kind of price is that? Do you know?
It's about $1,400. It'll come out in 3 months. This is the other one. It's called the Enter.
So that's very Buchla-esque.
Yes, another touch surface. This one's crazy because it's more for like wacky sound design. It's also stereo. You have that pyramid as left and right, and then you put steel wool on it, and you basically get cross modulation across all the patches.
Wow,
it's crazy. Yeah, and the Roat's great too. I have a Roat. It's really nice. And then he has a couple things for the Lyra 8. There's this Lyra 8 sequencer next to it.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it. And then you put that little contact pad thing on top of the Lyra 8, and it lets you interact with the sequencer.
Oh, cool. So it's an entire ecosystem they've built.
Yeah, they have everything. And then, of course, I love the pipe too. A lot of people don't talk about the pipe, but the pipe's a whole lot of fun. You don't have to use the mouthpiece. You can actually use it as an input, as an effects processor.
I've no idea what that will sound like, but again, is that's got its own inbuilt sound engines, or?
Yeah, Terra is the coolest thing on the table for sure.
Wow.
Cosmos Looper is nice. There's a lot of cool stuff.
It's interesting. It's interesting that people are still going after this alternate controller paradigm because the keyboard thing. I think Richard and all of us were talking about this last week about, there we go. Richard's back. So we were talking about how the keyboard has become ubiquitous and it's kind of defined and limited what you can do as a keyboard player. So when Roly came out and then, we were talking about how Buchla did something different. It looks like there's a lot more people going down that alternative controller path. I wonder how popular it will be.
Me too. I wonder the same thing.
I mean, it looks cool.
It's been tried for years and years and years, but certain things have now become popular that weren't popular for a whole lot of years. So it's very possible that there will be some sudden attraction to one or more of these things that look to me like kindling with buttons, and people will have a good time with it and make some cool music with it, and it'll become part of somebody's show. I mean, and like that, so we'll see how that goes. I'd like, I think it's fun to see people trying to come up with this stuff.
Yeah. Trying to come up with new paradigms or reinventing the old paradigms and seeing if they stick this time.
And appealing to the fact that people can be musical without, they're already trying to be musical without specific technique on a particular instrument in many cases. So at that point, you can sell them a broomstick and a string, and if it works as a controller, they can make music on it.
And I suppose lots of people have been using iPads and iPhones and whatever else to play music. They've been using virtual keyboards and hand controllers and God knows what else, gaming controllers.
iPads and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we're seeing the rebirth of something else here. But that does look like an interesting... It looks like an interesting... I'll just be interested to play around with it.
I'm not looking forward to having to repair one.
I want to see one float up on the beach.
I think you just have.
The driftwood model, yeah.
Yeah, you could make it into a lovely coffee table, couldn't you, with some polymer?
So it's kind of weird. You have your preset matrix here. You have these live effects here. It's on the speaker now, so I can't play it. This is your chromatic, and just the more skin you give it, you can tap it, you can roll it. It's totally polyphonic. Everything works at once, so you can make noise with it if you want.
So you can basically sit on it?
You could. It's like the Klingon toilet seat.
Yeah, it's big ass music.
Because it's got a certain kind of,
It's got a certain curve to it.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
That implies a certain...
I'm not drawing any inferences here, but I'm just saying.
I wonder if it comes with RCO. I don't know. What do you think?
RCO?
Or RCO.
RCO?
Oh, please.
The logo's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it looks
I
cool.
love this thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It looks cool, and it's something which I'd want to, I'm not sure I'd spend $1,400 on it without, playing with it first. But it looks like it's something I would be very interested to play around with, but you'd have to have it for a while.
I noticed that they don't appear to have a pulsar out on the
Hey
desk,
guys, I
either.
think I can get a quick demo here. He's going to take it off the string thing.
Hey.
You guys want to hear it?
Yes, please.
My 10-cent demo. It's I don't know how to use it. So.
You think it's worth 10? You think it's worth 10 cents, Andy?
I think it'd actually be the same if I played it with 10 years. So it doesn't matter. Is this the one that does the tappy? Yeah, nice. Cool. You guys hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the effects. Can I try a quick...
Wow. She could play it upside down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some patches of arpeggios.
Promise them
You
anything.
can roll up.
But give them arpeggios.
Just rolling the little nibs.
But that's something that would draw me in, and I could see myself losing hours and hours over that.
It's like playing nipples.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Well, you got to keep your hand in, don't you? I mean, come on.
You have.
Oh, there you go.
I'm really liking this.
I am.
More than I should. I'm
Yeah.
really liking this.
I'm getting very drawn
I
into
did
it. It's a very cool thing. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Mike, you said you rather liked this as well, didn't you?
Nice.
Well, it's just because it's weird. I love weird and sort of groundbreaking ideas. The Spong most famous thing that Soma ever did, they worked with Big Noise on a little desktop synth called the Strega, which was very popular.
They're very sensitive to your touch.
And you know, I like it.
Yeah.
She's doing a good demo as well.
Nice.
And there's a gyroscope.
Yeah, it has accelerometer thing in it, so you can.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
come on.
Sold.
I said I wanted to see it
Yeah, who needs a DV,
wash
right?
up out of the sea, didn't
Yeah. it would sound even better if it did.
I? Floating on the top of the waves.
I think that's a rather lovely thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit like Ken. I don't really. I wasn't sure. I didn't have any hankering for it, but now.
I'm not sure it'd be something I would master in any, usable way. But if you wanted just to create some stuff, I mean, what could be better?
It's interesting.
Sit
it's
it on
the
your
kind of thing-
lap.
Yeah, I do. Be good to give to someone else to play as well.
Is that vocal one that does the formants?
That's a good question. Does it float? I'm serious. I want to know if it floats. If it's got a gyroscope in it.
Is your like throat singer type demo?
Oh, I'm just liking it more and more.
Sounds a little hollow.
And the tilt will do like vibrato. With the accelerometer, we'll do vibrato. That. It's like Delay Llama.
No, it's like turning over Keith Hammond.
Yeah.
That's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
That gets my vote so far from the show.
Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this.
But then we said that about the Rolly.
But they're going to work.
This was my favorite last year, but now this is my favorite. So.
Yeah, but I work for Soma, so I have to.
No, I like it.
No, I honestly like this a lot.
Between that and a Rolly, though, I think I'm more tempted to get the Rolly still, the
You
Seaboard.
should be able to find out if it floats, Kent.
Yeah, Andy, ask her, does it float?
We all float.
Yeah, we all float. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for more than half a second.
It's a flua.
What was that one? Oh, sorry.
Can it do a harp-like sound? I think that'd be quite interesting on that.
It's like a balalaika almost.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Wow.
No, I like that a lot more than I should have done.
Yeah, so did I. So we're very close, I think.
Yeah, only $1,400. Save it up.
So what's that work out about in real money? 1,200?
Once it comes over.
You mean
here,
by
I'll
the
be about
pound?
same price.
Yeah, by the pound, my man.
By the pound?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It'll be with VAT and import duty and everything else. It'll still be about 1,400.
Oh,
here,
will
I
it?
think.
Oh, yeah, of
That's
course it will. Yeah. What am I thinking?
Yeah. Since we abandoned the rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, the
so
back tires on the Mustang cost more than that, so yeah.
it's a good thing. So we're almost
like
coming
that.
up to the 2-hour mark, Ken.
That's funny, Matt. Isn't wood sold by the foot?
Depends where you're getting your wood from.
Yeah, so it's wood that gives you wood, right? So.
Yeah, it is. It
Can
is.
screw on my own rack ears, says Wagyu, says Steve. Yeah. Says sorry, Wagyu. Yeah. Brilliant. Finally, a device that Wago won't
No,
demand
we
is
should-
available.
we
in
should-
19-inch rack format.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should got Andy to ask these sort of like really, really stupid questions like, does it have a MIDI support so I can plug my keyboard into it? Go, oh, no, go away.
Actually, no, I said earlier, did you hear it? It has MIDI out and MIDI in for clock.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting.
But it's a closed system. There's no editor for it. In fact, it's funny. He said, the guy at the booth there said, when he asked Vlad, is there going to be an editor? And Vlad seemed like he was insulted. Like, why would you need to change anything?
That's funny.
Yeah, he's a true artist.
Well, that's good. That means it's an instrument.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolute.
Which I'm all for.
Yeah, absolutely.
See the two MIDI ports on the side there.
I see a Greek pillar in my living room with that thing on top of it.
And you asked if it float. Well, it's got 2 ports.
Oh, come on.
There we
I
go.
want to see it wash up on the shore.
That'll be on Andy's album cover.
You like that?
Floating with Andy.
Yeah.
And a couple of paramecium.
Oh.
I must admit, I found it very interesting, and all the analog was roped off.
Yeah. That was
Need a
interesting.
special
Mike's back.
pass?
Yay. Well, halfback.
Cool.
So, gents, I do have an evening to take care of now.
As indeed do I. And Kent and Mike, Dr. Mike.
Thank you so much.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
good one, mate. Well done.
Did my best.
Absolutely. Well done.
The one comment I made earlier that I don't know if anybody heard about the Terra was, I'm betting serial number 1 is going to Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, no, it's a good show. I'm really glad that I was able to help you guys out. I'll go do things like find out what the Instaport is actually going to cost, and I'll follow up with that information later. I just want to say hello to everybody.
Say hi to
in
Ken
chat.
Spong.
I can't see the chat, so.
Hi, Drew. Hey, Drew.
Anything else I should say?
Ken Spong, Rich Hilton.
Andy.
And Andrew
Hey!
Longhurst. There we go.
Hi, Drew.
Sorry you're not here, but we are.
Right. And with that,
Manny.
oh,
Hey.
Manny's here as well. How you doing, Manny?
Hey, mate. I think he's been doing some sanding.
Yeah.
So
Over on that
Drew,
yellow keyboard.
So, Kent,
Darling,
is we or is we ain't done?
I think we can call that a show.
A wrap.
A wrap, my friend, indeed. Yes.
So,
Music.
Mike, thanks to you, matey.
Yeah.
Big thanks.
That was a really good job, man. Done
Well,
well. And
as
you,
best I
Andy.
could. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. But Andy was really the hero of the hour in being able to actually get in there with a proper gimbaled camera and give us those nice demos. So
Yeah,
it's
what a
very,
wanker.
very, it's very much appreciated.
What a wanker.
Yeah, with all these flash gear.
All his flash gear going there with perfect picture and stabilization and signal and sound. How
God damn
dare
it.
he?
Man.
Man.
Well, at least you didn't get sick watching me.
No, yours was fine. Plus, you know everybody there. You probably even know the guy that made the carpet.
Well, I would have loved to have gotten a lot of my friends together so that we all could have talked about this, because there are bound to be a bunch of different opinions. Anyway, great show, guys. Thank you for letting me do this. And
No problem.
I'm gonna go. I got to do some work over here in the North Annex, and then I'm gonna head back and see if I can chase down the gang again.
Yeah.
So there's a warning. They should leave.
Get any videos you can. We'll share them later on. Sorry, Richard, I interrupted you, mate.
No, I was just yelling, "Run,
run, run,
run, Forrest!" Yeah.
Run, Forrest, run,
Well,
Forrest.
we haven't gone over because the first 17 minutes of the show wasn't broadcast. So
how about that?
I've done my contractual 2 hours.
You have a contract?
Apparently.
You have 2 hours?
Can I have my agent call your agent?
Yeah, exactly. And then I can go back and finish my dinner that I had to leave.
That your agent
halfway
just made for you?
Yeah. What is cold spaghetti like? It's probably not good, is it?
Right, so in which case the MIDI rabbit of death.
Oh, there is.
The MIDI rabbit of death says, let's call it a day.
Yes, let us. So thank you for joining us, everybody. And thank you again to Doc Mike Metlay for the excellent coverage, and Andy as well, obviously. Mr. Richard Hilton for joining us in his busy schedule. And Andy, he was there from last week. You haven't done it. You haven't moved, have you?
I haven't moved. I haven't
so
bathed,
it's
I haven't moved.
basically just turned your camera on. And there you were.
There I was still here. What? Guys, 7 days of guys. Guys.
Are you coming back?
Was it something I said?
Oh, dear.
To which
all right,
was everything.
Yeah, so let's see. So we got Rans tomorrow, hopefully.
Steve.
Jamie on Sunday. I'm doing a pub tomorrow night because that's the only relaxing time I get. So yeah, thank you to everybody. Robbie's back next week.
Thank God.
Lazy bugger that he is, laying on a bed watching this, going, I don't have to do anything. So anyway, everybody take care and look after yourselves. And
take care. God bless.
Bye, guys. Good fun.
Ladies and gents.
Bye.
Cheers.
God bless.